first time ever why he snitched on all of his friends back in July on Dixie D'Amelio's talk show. And we have all the details. I'm Gabi Conti.
I'm Brianna Walmark.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and this is the Hollywire Tea Party, where we are spilling all the tea. What a fun bit of tea to spill today. A little throwback, Dixie D'Amelio just brought Lil Huddy on her YouTube talk show, the Dixie D'Amelio Early Late Show. Dixie opened up by saying that Chase was a very requested guest on the show. Prior to this episode, Dixie had interviewed her little sister, Charli D'Amelio, her best friend, Addison Rae, rumored boyfriend, Noah Beck, and now Charli's ex-boyfriend and friend, Chase Hudson. And one of the main topics of discussion during the sit-down interview is what went down on July 6th, which you guys may remember is the day that TikTok absolutely exploded after Chase admitted he kissed Nessa while he was trying to get back together with Charli, and then proceeded to out most of the TikTok community on their own infidelity, including that Dixie's boyfriend Griffin was cheating on her, which later turned out to be very true. So, lots to unpack here. I just thought this whole episode was so great. I'm so glad she brought Chase on. I think Chase has been kind of like, he's always that e-boy that's like posting that he's sad all the time. But even that being said, like, even if that's like his brand, like, I don't know. I'm happy he got to go on the show and like say maybe things that he'd wanted to say. This is such a good platform for him to do it on. It was also really fun. Like they did like, how well do you know Charli D'Amelio? And that was fun. And I think like the internet has forgiven him since spilling all of that. It definitely wasn't his place to do so, but he did make a good point. You know, he said it's better to come on with the truth than not. However, I guess you don't really have to deal with other people's truths. That's like up to them. But I loved this. I thought it was good. And I honestly, like, I'm a Chase fan. Like, I know he gets a lot of hate, but I love the kid. I think he's really sweet and I think he means well. So.
Totally. Yeah. And I think something that came to light in this interview, which I kind of forgot, is how Chase was really like the OG TikTok star. Like he was one of the first guys in the Hype House. He was like already a celebrity by the time Dixie and Charli and Addison even came to the scene. And we forget that because of what TikTok celebrity looks like now. But he definitely was like one of the first stars of TikTok, I would say. And yes, he has gotten a lot of hate. I think a lot of that has to deal with him being an e-boy. I think a lot of that has to deal with the possibility that, you know, he broke TikTok sweetheart Charli D'Amelio's heart. I mean, she's the most followed person on the app. So of course, everyone was like very upset at him when this news came out. But I'm happy that he spoke up because it is, thinking back, I mean, when this all came to a crash in July, this seemed like such a big deal. It seemed like the end of the world. I don't think if you told me in July that by October, Charli and Chase and Dixie and like this new guy, Noah, would like all be best friends and like going to dinner every night together, I'd be like, huh? So, I mean, I think it's good inspiration for people out there to know that, you know, you could feel like you're at your rock bottom, but it definitely does get better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And I feel like this interview is it was just a lot more intimate. And I really liked having to hear honestly what he had to say. And I loved just the dynamic of this whole interview was very casual, laid back. And it wasn't like press or wasn't like paparazzi trying to, you know, grab something out of him. It was just very like truthful and honest. And I really, really appreciated that because, you know, it can get hectic with, you know, what's going on in the press and the media, et cetera. So yeah, I really loved listening to what he had to say and how mature it was handled. And just how, you know, even after the fact, like what happened in July, they still remain civil and they're friends, like what you said, Gabi and Jana.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it was mature, like touching on that too. I mean, and after he did apologize fairly quickly, he was like, look, I probably shouldn't have done that. I think it was a little bit like rash, like he didn't need to do that, but circling back on it, I'm glad Dixie brought it up. She also brought it up very like respectfully, you know, like she was very like chill about it. Like, very, like, I don't want to be mean to you, but like, you know, and then she asked him, we'll get more into it, but like why he thinks he gets so much hate. And just to speak more on Gabi's, what Gabi just said, I feel like when you are one of the most one of the most liked people, like he was very liked in the beginning. That's how he got so famous. And then like he linked up with the most liked person on the app, Charli D'Amelio. With that comes a lot of hate. you know, and you don't realize it, but it's lonely at the top. So
very much so. I will say I do wish that Charli grilled him a little bit more. I wish that they asked him a little bit more questions and got a little bit deeper into it. But we have to remember that this interview, it's the first time we're seeing them have this discussion. I'm sure before Chase started hanging out again with Charli and Dixie, that they had that conversation for the very first time of Chase kind of explaining himself. And, you know, I think Thomas Petro had commented something about this, about how crazy it is because all of the allegations that Chase ended up saying back in July, granted, yes, it wasn't his place to, you know, spill other TikTok members' tea. But I mean, I'm pretty sure if we were to look back at all of the allegations he had made, that they all turned out to be true. You know, with Griffin Johnson, even what was like happening, like every other TikTok star he called out, I'm like pretty sure ended up happening. So I don't know. It's like, don't shoot the messenger, right? But instead of that, I guess everyone canceled the messenger in this case. Well, okay. So the first question that Dixie had asked Chase was, why not Big Huddy? So if you guys don't know this, it turns out that Big Huddy is actually Chase's dad and that he's not making that up, which is why Chase goes by Lil Huddy. Chase also admitted that his favorite homie in the Hype House is, quote, probably Thomas, which should come to no surprise to you guys. As for what Chase would be doing if he wasn't into social media, well, he doesn't know. Chase said he's been wanting to pursue social media since the 8th grade, and his idol was Jacob Sartorius. Chase said that he's always wanted to do social media and never ever thought about a job ever. Dixie also asked Chase what his first impression was of her, and he said that he thought she was terrifying because she didn't talk because she didn't talk as well. Charli also didn't talk, and that Dixie also had RBF, resting biatch face. While Dixie thought Chase was really, really famous because they went to In-N-Out and someone asked for a picture and Chase was totally cool with it. She also thought that he was really quiet and scary, which is much like Dixie, and which kind of got me thinking, like, we forget like actually how similar Chase and Dixie are personality wise. Like they both are kind of quiet. They both are intimidating. They both are really like in touch with their emotions. Like it makes sense why Chase and Charli dated and why like why Chase and Dixie like now get along. It's they're very, very similar.
Yeah, you're so right. They're very both, I feel like, quiet, but when they do talk or say something or clap back, it's like, whoa, yes. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, shoot, like, dang, like they're both really good at that. I actually I feel like the D'Amelio sisters, like when she was like, you know, when we first moved to LA, we didn't know how to act. We didn't know any of these people. Like Dixie was like, I was barely on TikTok. That was more of a Charli thing. So yeah. And then Chase Hudson was like this super famous guy who was buying designer bags, super intimidating. But they ended up obviously bonding. But I feel like they bonded so much to Gabi, just like you said, because they are a lot alike, personality wise, which is cool. And I feel like it was cute. She was like, now we'll probably be friends forever, you know, regardless of what happens with Charli and Chase, which I think they'll probably end up together again at some point, maybe not forever, but I do think that. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. You can also tell like Heidi D'Amelio is in the video, and you can tell that the mom is also like, you know, very close with Chase. I love seeing that aspect. I think these kids are just really young, and to be so famous and to have all these cameras in their face and all these things being said about them on the internet. Like I actually love seeing like Charli's parents, Addison's parents. I really love seeing them part of it all. Yeah, it makes just makes me feel better for them. I guess that's like more me being a little bit older and being like, I don't know how they're like dealing with all this, but.
Yeah, I mean, 2 nights ago, we had another one of our favorite double dates. Noah, Dixie, Chase, and Charli were all at Katana, which is a very swanky sushi restaurant, literally right next door to Saddle Ranch on Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood. And they, again, like just like the first time that this I guess we call them foursome had their like double date debut in Beverly Hills like a couple of weeks ago, there was swarms of fans, not only swarms of fans, I'm pretty sure I recognize some of the fans from their first dinner who are here again watching them. And Jana, to your point about the parents being there, that both Mark and Heidi, which are Dixie and Charli's parents, they were there too. So I do think that it's nice because I feel like just like Addison's mom and Addison's dad, I feel like act like almost like surrogate parents for all the TikTok kids who are out here and they don't have a family out here and maybe are not going to see their family because of the pandemic. I think it's great that the D'Amelios, I feel like, have been opening up their homes and also just their arms to like any of Dixie's and Charli's friends. It reminds me of like when you're in college and like there was always those parents that would come visit and they would make all of the kids, all of your friends feel welcome. And I think that's what the D'Amelios really are doing.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad they all have that, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I totally agree with you guys about how the parents are involved. I think that's really honestly important when you are growing up, especially in the limelight in social media. It can be really detrimental to like one's mental health and just, you know, just interpersonal relationships you have with other people. So I really love that. And it was really fun for me to watch, you know, when they were doing like the Q&A or who knows Charli best kind of game. It was really fun to just see the dynamic that was occurring between the mom, you know, Chase and, you know, the two girls. But I loved it. I think it was just something that we don't really see. That's like something that happens behind the scenes. So it was super fun for me to watch, and I like genuinely really enjoyed it.
Well, Brianna, it's amazing that you said that because, you know, there's a couple of projects that are in the works. We don't really know where they are yet, but of course there's Dixie and Charli. They have a podcast coming out. I think it's coming out very, very soon. We know that the D'Amelio family also is in the works of making a family reality show, which I know they just started their YouTube channel. Like they have a family social media for all of that. And then also the Hype House is supposed to have a reality show in the works. So I feel like on all of those platforms, we're going to see more of this dynamic between them and their friends. I feel like that is going to be something that's pretty constant for sure.
Absolutely. It's very, very exciting. And of course, Dixie has asked the question that we all wanted to know. She asked Chase about that July 6th list he tweeted out about TikTok stars for cheating on their significant others. When asked what was going through Chase's head when he posted that, he said, you know, it's better to come clean than to lie. I came clean for everyone. If you just pull up the receipts and say what has to be said, there's nothing more to the story. There's nothing that they can say that they haven't heard already. Dixie's also asked Chase if he's planning on making music like the rest of his friends. Chase said potentially he's made a few things, but he hasn't gotten too far down the road. When he came in, he was actually on our podcast, Behind the Fame, which you should go listen to it after you guys watch this. He talked about his music career and that he definitely wanted to like dabble in the music game. So I predicted that he was going to be one of the first TikTok stars to kind of come out with music. I thought that, you know, Jaden Hossler, he's like been putting out song after song. I thought that would be kind of Chase. So maybe he's just like not ready for that part of his career. That is a whole nother responsibility. You know, it's kind of a whole nother part of your brand and your business when you also become an artist and you're releasing music, and it's a lot to juggle. But I got to listen to like a little sneak peek of one of his songs one time, and it was really good. Like, so I'm like, I want him to like actually do this. And I feel like it would make him happy to like happier to do that. You know, it's an outlet for him. So I'd love to see him kind of go down this path.
I wonder if he's taking a pause on releasing music because, you know, up until recently when he started hanging out with Charli and Dixie and Noah again, he was very hated. Like I would almost argue like people joke that like Bryce Hall is a self-proclaimed most hated person on the internet. But for a while it was Chase, and it wasn't like Chase was owning it. It was because people were trying to cancel him left and right. It felt like every day there was a new story where people were being mean to him. So it could have been that he had a song ready, but the timing of like when to release it never really worked out for him. And yeah, Jana, I agree with you. It is interesting that like we never knew that Dixie was interested in music, and then all of a sudden she has this monster hit. And she even asked Chase to like sing. She knows he has a great voice, and I guess his mom is a singer too. And he was like camera shy for it, which I totally get. But I have a feeling that we're going to see some Chase music happen soon. I feel like especially after this interview, and perhaps, you know, Chase Hudson fans out there, I think definitely like tell him you want to hear his music, because I feel like that is really what makes creators release things, is when fans tell them they want to hear it.
Absolutely. Or like a little snippet or something, like give them a taste, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, I feel like he would do such a great job in the making music. I can totally just see him like killing the game in that sense. And like you said, Jana, I think it would be a great outlet to, kind of express emotions and just, I mean, it's honestly also a business move. Like you might as well, like you have the opportunities to, and you have the talent to do so. So I think, you should, whenever he's ready, obviously take full reign and just like go for it. But yeah, I'm very interested to see if he does and when he does make music, like the content that he will create and produce.
Totally.
Me too. I feel like it's gonna be really cool.
Definitely. Well, since there were a lot of Charli questions, Dixie decided to just bring her sister on to ask Chase the questions herself, which actually turned out to be a tease. And instead, Dixie, Chase, and their mom Heidi played a game of who knows Charli best, and they all seemed to lose. It seems like Charli and Chase are still tight, as the Hollywood Fix just caught them leaving Katana the other night. And it was also, I found out that same night, it was also that Dixie and Noah, they were all there. And they took pictures with fans, and it appeared they were at Katana and Charli's mom and also Charli's dad. And I think even Charli's cousin, they were all there. So it was like a big event. So it does seem like Charli and Chase are going to keep on hanging out. I know Charli has said before that she wants to normalize exes hanging out. But for me, the biggest thing is I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching this, I was really craving for him those hard questions. And I feel like it was such a tease that they just played that game instead. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I honestly feel like we don't really know what's going on with Chase's mental health, but we do know based off the things that he posts that it could really not be great. So I think Dixie asked him to be on the show because all the fans really wanted it and they were expecting this to be a big tell-all. And it was to a certain extent. He was honest about the things we want to know. But I agree with you. Like, I wish that we would have heard more about his relationship with Charli. But here's the thing. I don't really think Charli or Chase wanted to come out about that. I also think maybe it's something that weighs on Chase. You know what I mean? Like, he lost Charli as a girlfriend. They're still friends, but they're not together. And I feel like that sucked for him, So maybe that's why Dixie was kind of like chill about it and didn't want to like cry too much. However, something that was so great about having Noah Beck on the show was while Dixie was a little like standoffish, Noah was very like, let's do this. Get out the lie detector test. Let's and that's really what the fans like want to see, including myself. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll come on again and be a little more talkative about certain things. I feel like when you're famous, like, unfortunately, you kind of like owe that to people sometimes,
Totally. Well, speaking of Noah and lie detector tests, they just did a big lie detector test over at the Sway House, and then Noah had also teased. So Noah was in that video, but he didn't really spill any tea at all. And there's a reason behind that. So apparently Noah is launching his own YouTube channel, also as well as Chase Hudson is also releasing his new YouTube channel. He just shot a video, which he did say on Dixie's show, which could also be a good sign that music is to come for Chase Hudson. If he's releasing a YouTube channel, he has to put content on there. But Noah Beck apparently has his very first video for his YouTube channel is him answering lie detector questions. So I feel like this is going to be the tea that like Nixie fans have been waiting for, because we know Noah can't lie, and he definitely can't lie without a lie detector test. And we know that Dixie doesn't want to take a lie detector test. So to me, that just means that, yeah, because her and Noah are more than just friends, and she knows that if she's on that, it'll come out. So that's exciting news, and we'll definitely keep our eyes peeled for Noah Beck taking a lie detector test.
Doing a lie detector test with your crush, like, can you imagine? I'd literally be like, kill me now.
Especially a crush, like, they haven't really been hanging out for that long, so I'm sure there's still a lot of like unknown about the two of them. So yeah. That has to be embarrassing.
She literally said, go unlike, I don't know if you guys saw at the end of her interview with Chase. She was like, go unlike, please. I don't want to do this. I was like, oh my God.
I have a feeling she's been hyping it up so much that I have a feeling it's going to happen and people are going to love it. And it's going to be, because I mean, at that point, if she does it, millions of people are going to watch. She also has a YouTube channel. Like, I mean, and we know that guy, the lie detector guy, is like making the rounds right now. And we have another video coming up about that lie detector test and the Sway Boys. But guys, we want to know, are you watching the Dixie D'Amelio show? What do you think about Chase Hudson finally talking about this craziness? Let us know. I'm Gabi Conti.
I'm Brenna Walmark.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and be sure to stay tuned for more Hollywire Tea Party right here live on Hollywire Monday through Wednesday. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.